What if the pressure to begin again is not asking you to move faster, but to admit that the goal you have been chasing no longer matches the person making the decisions? On August the 12th, 2026, a new moon in Leo arrives alongside a total solar eclipse in Leo, creating a powerful symbolic lens for fresh starts, visibility, confidence, and consequence. But a threshold is not a promise. It is a place where the old structure stops explaining the next move. That can feel exciting from the outside and uncomfortable inside, especially when work, money, deadlines, or reputation are involved. You may have spent months proving you are committed. You kept the project alive, hit the deadline, stayed visible, answered the messages, revised the plan, and kept telling yourself that persistence would eventually make the path feel right. Then something changes. The promotion arrives and feels empty. The business opportunity looks impressive, but demands a version of you that is already exhausted. The goal you once defended starts feeling like a costume you cannot keep wearing. This is where people often confuse hesitation with weakness. Sometimes hesitation is ambition meeting information it did not have when that promise was made. The better question is not, should I blow everything up? It is, what has this threshold made impossible to ignore? Temporal and threshold cycles often describe the pressure between an ending and a beginning, when identity changes before outcomes become clear. In that space, visibility can feel exposing. You may be asked to sign, launch, choose, present, commit, or walk away before certainty appears. The discomfort does not prove that you are making the wrong decision. It may mean the old decision rules are no longer enough. A threshold asks for discernment before acceleration, especially in matters of personal wealth. Across initiation rites, mythic traditions, and ancient timing philosophies, thresholds were treated as intervals rather than empty gaps. A person could leave one role before entering another. The uncertainty mattered because transition required a different kind of attention. That historical logic still translates into modern work. The eclipse itself is astronomical. Totality crosses Greenland, Iceland, northern Spain, and a small part of Portugal, with partial visibility across much of Europe and other regions. Geography does not assign outcomes. Symbolically, however, a darkened sun beside a new moon can offer language for moments when visibility, identity, and direction are being reconsidered. Consider the manager who spent years aiming for a senior title, then reached the final interview and realized the role would double responsibility without improving the life they wanted. Declining it might look like lost momentum, yet the threshold exposed a mismatch between status and value. Or consider the founder whose company finally attracts attention, but every new client makes the operating model less sustainable. The answer may not be more visibility. It may be restructuring before expansion. In both cases, the turning point is not mystical. It is practical information appearing at the moment a larger commitment becomes possible. A third example is quieter. Someone keeps a high-paying job because leaving would disappoint people who praise the achievement. They are not financially reckless, and they do not need to make an impulsive exit. But the eclipse theme can help them notice the cost of organizing every choice around external approval. Wealth is not only income, it also includes capacity, sustainability, risk, and the quality of the exchange between effort and result. A threshold can reveal where a goal has become expensive in ways the spreadsheet does not show. Recognition does not dictate the decision, it changes the questions. So pause before turning the symbolism into a command. Review the commitments asking for your time, money, attention, and reputation. Notice which ones still have a reason behind them, and which survive mostly because stopping would feel embarrassing. Look at deadlines as information, not verdicts. Ask whether visibility is serving the work or forcing the work to serve visibility. If an opportunity appears, examine what it requires after the excitement fades. Systems, energy, cash flow, support, and follow through. Threshold thinking does not tell you to leap. It helps you see what must be true before the leap makes sense. You can also separate chapter change from dramatic reinvention. Sometimes the wiser move is renegotiating one contract, narrowing one offer, changing one deadline, or ending one obligation that keeps stealing resources from the work that matters. Small structural decisions can carry more truth than grand declarations. Give yourself room to become visible without performing certainty. A threshold is uncomfortable partly because the next identity is not rehearsed. You may know what no longer fits before you know what replaces it. That does not make the transition meaningless. It means clarity is being built through choices, not delivered all at once. Imagine approaching the next chapter with less performance and more precision. You are ambitious, but ambition no longer requires proving that every goal deserves another year of your life. You can be seen without making visibility your measure of worth. You can change direction without calling the effort wasted. You can respect consequences without treating uncertainty as danger. The future state is not confidence. It is enough self-trust to revise a plan when information appears. So ask yourself, which commitment in your work or life deserves your energy, and which one survives because your identity is attached to it? The next chapter does not begin when the sky changes. It begins when you stop asking an expired goal to define your future. If this helped you recognize a threshold in your work, share it with someone standing between an old plan and a new decision, and subscribe for more ways to read timing without surrendering your judgment. To continue the conversation about effort, cycles, phases, and response, explore the pattern that runs your life. And when you are ready to examine your personal symbolic timing and repeated themes closely, continue at www.auriscodex.com.